Now, going back a couple weeks ago, I was watching Yu-Gi-Oh! The original series on Roku, and it was like live TV, so I couldn't like really rewind it, so it just played all the way through, and it was on the final arc of the series, Dawn of the Duel. So once that finished, I went back. It went back to the beginning, and I watched it all the way up till Battle City. Once I got up to Battle City, however, it went on to Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, and I did enjoy Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, but I really just wanted to watch the original series. But anyway, I went on Disney Plus to continue the Battle City arc. Well, the first round, you know, I remember it fairly, most of it. But then we get to the virtual world arc. Even though it was filler, when I found out years later it was completely filler, it was still a decent arc. However, looking at it now, the villains of the arc, Noah, the Big Five, Gozaburo himself, they were all trash ass duelists. They were like totally trash. Because here's the thing, like they all say, oh, we're gonna duel y'all, and if we win, we're gonna take your body and escape the virtual world. Okay, that's fair, let duel for their bodies, but one, they didn't ask to be there. And then most of the Big Five cheated. Hold on. No, I really think that most of the Big Five, I'm gonna get to Noah in a second. The Big Five, I believe all of them cheated. Like first with Gansley when he dueled Yugi, and apparently there was a glitch in the dueling system to where is that Karibo was forced to be Yugi's deck master, but Yugi wanted to change his deck master. He was like, no, once it was changed, once you pick the deck master, it cannot be changed. But the duel hadn't even started yet. So one, you already doggone bending the rules just so you can doggone win or whatever. Cause it's just I'm gonna get back to the Big Five in a minute, but I knew y'all were trash duelists, and y'all tried to cheat due to the fact of you going up against mainly three duelists that's been dueling nonstop all day. Because the first part of the Battle City arc was that the whole thing, the first round and whatever, lasted an entire day. It was an entire day, even though there was like a mistranslation in the second episode of the Battle City arc. But that's neither here nor there. But Gansley, he used that glitch in the system for Karibo that turned into Yugi's deck master to become to become ahead of the whole duel. So technically he cheated. Gansley cheated. What's his name? Crump, he kind of cheated because Tara wasn't even a duelist. He cheated because he knew she wasn't a duelist, but he still lost. Then you had what's his name? Was it Croquet? I don't remember. I'm just gonna go by the duelist name or whatever, or the deck master that you go by from here on out. Nightmare Penguin, Crump, he dueled Taya, knowing that she wasn't a good duelist like that, and he still lost. Then you had I remember him. I definitely remember him because his voice was annoying. Joey's duel with Johnson, aka Judge Man, he cheated all the way up until the end of the duel. And then Noah's bitch ass, he wanted to stop the duel, but Joey was like, oh, I'm gonna duel it my way, but no more cheating, Johnson. He was like, okay, I hope you know that the duel still stands, the stakes in the duel still stands, even though he cheated halfway through the duel, Johnson. And you could have just still stopped the duel right there or started the duel over. So Noah was helping Johnson cheat. Then after that, it was Nesbit. Yeah, Nesbit, Robotic Knight. He knew that Serenity couldn't duel. She just started to see again. Serenity couldn't duel. And then you see Duke and Tristan trying to sway the dude off of Serenity, but he was hell-bent on dueling Serenity first. So what does that say about Nesbit? You was willing to take a woman's body? Huh. What's that say about you, Nesbit? And he still cheated. Said like, oh, she can't correct her mistake or whatever. Or, oh, even though y'all wanted to do it, I still took Tristan's body or whatever. Then you have Kaiba's duel with Jinzo. He tried to cheat because the Jinzo that's his deck master, he only destroys his opponent's trap cards. Jinzo is supposed to destroy all trap cards, which we find out later on when Yugi and Joey dueled the Big Five all together. And once Yugi and Joey beat them all, when they were still trying to cheat, they still was hanging 10 toes down to cheat, to take their bodies anyway, even though they lost fair and square. And then Noah tried to be honorable. We thought he was honorable until he started playing games with Kaiba. And when Yugi dueled him, he refreshed his deck with new cards and kept toying with Yugi's confidence, freezing all his friends in stone. And then when Yugi got the upper hand and beat Noah, finally, Noah still tried to take Yugi's body. Tried to cheat to take Yugi's body. But luckily, the Millennium Puzzle helped him out. And I know I'm kind of rambling, but need I remind you, looking at the Big Five, or looking at Noah and the Big Five and Gozaburo, I'll get to him in a minute, all of them have a temper tantrum. A bad temper tantrum when they lose. They was like, oh, even though you won, I'm going to take your shit anyway. If it wasn't for, like, Noah, they would have stole their bodies anyway. So what's the point of them dueling? I know they're villains, but, like, it's still kind of stupid. Then when you get to Gozaburo, once he found out that Noah was going to destroy the virtual world, he was going to straight up take Kaiba's body in the middle of their duel. And if it wasn't for Kaiba and his silver tongue, Kaiba would have lost his body due to Gozaburo having a temper tantrum. And that's the main reason why they lost. Their temper tantrum and their lust for vengeance. Even though Kaiba was kind of wrong. Well, you know, corporate takeover is fine. But the Big Five stood behind him. And then he dicked over the Big Five, in which clouded their judgment. You would think that the Big Five being in the virtual world, that will make them better duelists. Watching Yugi and Kaiba and Joey's duels to get a best strategy and whatnot. No, they were just going off of the decks that they build on their own, and then use the power of the virtual world to cheat and manipulate. And then after all that, they still lost, which makes them, the Big Five, Noah and Gozaburo, trash ass duelists. I think they're the 7 trash ass duelists in the entire series that you see that's kind of like a main character or a main antagonist or whatever. We're not talking about the other ones who you see that's generically drawn and then they lose a duel or whatever. We're talking about main antagonists being trash ass duelists and tried to cheat to get their way, knowing that they're going to hold their end of the bargain. They're like, oh, we know Yugi them is going to hold their end of the bargain. We just going to take their bodies, and then if they win, we still going to take their bodies. Desperate. They were desperate to get out, and they were dicked over by Kaiba, but that kind of PTSD and trauma clouded their judgment. which made them trash ass duelists, and Gozaburo was about to take Kaiba's body while he was dueling, which made him a trash ass duelist. And Noah was honorable until he started to pull the same tactics as the Big Five as soon as he started getting frustrated when he was getting that ass whooped by Kaiba, and then at the end, Yugi. But I wonder if you all agree with me. Do y'all really think the Big Five, Gozaburo and Noah, were trash ass villains and duelists? Let me know in the comments. This is kind of like a different kind of video, you know, kind of, because I normally be in my basement and you don't see my face or whatever, but I, you know, had to try to put some content out because, you know, I'm moving soon, and, you know, I packed everything up in my basement, but I still want to just put some content out there until I get my new setup or whatever. But once I get my new setup, it's on. But let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And I'll catch you all next time.